Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So, Ishmael, on the interview that you did with Nicholas, previously the Galactic Federation had been infiltrated, and a possible kind of, I guess you would say, interference with the Alliance. Do you want to go into a little bit more detail when it comes to the Galactic Federation, and then now it being transferred over to the Galactic Alliance?
Sure. So it turns out that Enki, who hasn't been around for about 5,000 years, has returned, and he's been working with whatever's left of the Orion Empire and the Nordics of the Aldebaran, the star system that are also considered, Orion groups. And his way of returning was, first of all, he upgraded himself. He came back from a part of the universe that he was prohibited to go to, where it was infested with nanites, and he knew what he was getting into. So, in an effort to upgrade himself, he was infested with nanites, and through nanite technology, his physical form inside became cybernetic. So he upgraded himself in a sense, by integrating with AI. So he's definitely now working with the AI God Omega, and because he is now, I guess, a few times more powerful due to his cybernetic upgrades. He was able to return, and without detection, he was able to use a type of cloaking technology uh, to um, to implement his malicious efforts in infiltrating the galactic community, and then on top of that, in creating a Draco Anunnaki drone, a super soldier, or his version of a super soldier. And so, one of the ways that he did it is by abducting certain women that claim to be Galactic Federation emissaries. I'm not going to mention any names, but there is someone out there who's actually promoting him, and that's why I had to tell people the truth about that person. But he's taking their galactic genetics, mainly Pleiadian genetics, as a way to activate the piloting systems and the navigation systems of the Galactic Federation fleets. However, the Guardian Alliance, those that are associated with the Emerald Order that operate from the Syrian High Council, were able, through their clairvoyance and their heightened perception, were able to detect his infiltration. And luckily for us, they were able to completely change the codings of the navigation system so that he wouldn't fully succeed in his attempt to infiltrate the Galactic Federation. That took about 10 months. However, he did create, by using our genetics in combination with advanced AI genetics, with Zeta and Draco genetics, he was able to create another abomination, which is a Draco Anunnaki drone soldier. But I do believe that the Great Solar Flash is going to eliminate that agenda from taking place. It's not going to happen in our timeline. For those of us that are ascending, we're not going to have to deal with that abomination till the end of the millennium. And that's when there's going to be one final battle between us, the metahumans, and Enki's new abomination that he's currently developing. But overall, the Galactic Alliance, or the Guardian Alliance, was able to stop him. And because they had to reset the entire piloting and security systems for the Galactic Federation fleets, they have now reorganized as the Galactic Alliance. So they're still in place, in position, in full operation, and he was very unsuccessful as far as taking over the Galactic Federation. Lucky for us.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And when it comes to Anki stealing energy from females, is there a way? Is he a shapeshifter?
Well, now that he is mostly cybernetic, yes, through the nanite technology, he's able to change form.
Is it possible for him to take the form of a female and then also try to infiltrate or steal the energy from males?
Right.
Yes, but he is choosing females for whatever reason. I believe it's because the females carry the highest concentration of mitochondria in their cells, something to do with mitochondrial Eve. They carry it more so than the males. So their genetics is a little bit more, how can I say it, sturdy than male genetics,
Okay.
as far as using them to access, the Galactic Federation fleets. And
Very
he's yeah,
interesting.
and he did it under the guise of promising to restore the Holy Grail blueprint, which was a lie of massive proportion. And of course, these women bought it, and I think a few thousand women were, aborted his ship and were there as his experiments.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Kristen, do you have anything having to come of Anki, of the Galactic Alliance, or the Solar Flare, Solar Flash?
Pretty much what we were just talking about. So he probably shapeshifts into someone and like turns into like this handsome guy or whatever, and convinces them to go, and they willingly go, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah. He materializes a form of a 6'3" Adonis, built, muscular, tanned, and of course he has colored eyes. So
Yeah.
he does pose as a really really handsome dude.
Wow. Bad. Very bad.
When it comes to extinguishing these, let's just say call them AI dark deep cult cabals, and we're waiting for the solar flash or the solar flare, is that the only, I guess you would say, way that you could extinguish their, I guess they don't really have souls, or do they have souls?
Absolutely not. No, they're completely intelligent machines, and we could say that the solar flash is going to be the EMP that is going to destroy the current AI signal and the AI infrastructure that is already in place. And that's what's going to cause the bifurcation of timelines, where we're going to go into the positive ascending timeline, where heaven and earth is going to be restored with no more negative technologies. Everything's going to be purified and done in a very positive way. And then for those that don't go into the positive ascending timeline, are going to go into a different negative timeline where the AI does rule. Unfortunately for them. Yeah.
Let's talk about that really quick, because I know our Soul Tribe. Shout out to our Soul Tribe. Thank you guys for watching. We have the one and only Ishmael Perez. Shout out to our moderators. You guys are doing a great job squashing those trolls and those AI bots who are trying to interrupt this intel that is coming to the Soul Tribe 1,000%. When we talk about that particular topic, Ishmael, when it comes to the different dimensions, like if we're ascending to the 5th dimension, or let's just say even the 4th dimension, and we're not going to be ruled by the AI, those who are left behind, and let's just call it the 3D or the 3 dimension, I know, like for me personally, I'll just speak about me personally. Like, how is that going to look? Are we going to be able to like look down on the 3D or come back to the 3D, or are we just going to be on the 5th dimension timeline and we don't even like have a recollection of what's going on in the 3D?
There are going to be two separate realities. Yeah,
Okay.
those that go into the 4th dimension, 5th or 6th, because we also have the ability to go into the 6th as we transfer from our current Earth into Terra Earth, are going to go into a different reality where AI and nefarious or dark entities are no longer allowed. However, those that don't make the shift into the new heaven on Earth because they perhaps pushed the mark of the beast, or were related or were involved, in the pushing of that, they're going to go into a totally different timeline that is going to exist on a parallel Earth. So they're going to exist separately, completely separately, for about 1,000 years. Yeah.
So let's just say, like, for me, I'm a school psychologist, so I work with a lot of the special needs children, or let's say doctors who are of the light, or let's just say police officers, firefighters, grocery store workers. It doesn't matter who they are, but they ascend. Like, are their bodies still going to be here in the 3rd dimension, or are they just going to not be on the 3rd dimension? Because if we lose a lot of people, like their jobs or like important jobs, that could have a big impact on the economy and the way of life. So how does that look? Are we still going to have the jobs in the 3D? Is our avatar or our body going to be in the 3D, but we ascended to the 5D? Like, how does that look?
Well, we already operate different avatars. So there is already a 4th and 5th dimensional version of Jason operating with a more sturdier body, as well as Kristen. And so it's just a matter of integrating. It's really, the ascension is a process of multi-dimensional integration. Things are going to come back into integration. You're going to have access to your galactic self, your warrior self. Kristen is going to have access to her galactic self. And then, at that point, we're going to be in a totally different Earth, an Earth that is cleaner, that is, that literally looks like a Garden of Eden, with beautiful crystalline cities worldwide, pyramids everywhere, just dotting the world with, beautiful academies of light, the resurrection of the mystery schools. All that stuff is coming back in the new age of Aquarius. And for those that were course to take the, mark of, what I mean, it's not their fault. So again, they will make the shift when the solar flash takes place, because the solar flash is going to nuke whatever it's in their body. It's going to totally neutralize it. So they will be making the shift. Yeah, because you have to make the choice by will, and those that were coerced in order to keep their jobs, that wasn't by will. That was in order for them to keep their lifestyle going. to feed their families and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So
Right. That's that. I'm glad that you brought that up. That's a great kind of segue into the next topic about the medicine that was forced on individuals to take to provide for their families. So when it comes to the solar or them ascending, there is a chance, or they can, if they are of the light, if they chose to do it because they wanted to take the mark, if you know what we mean. There is a difference between those that were forced to take it to keep their livelihood. So those that were forced against their will, they will have the chance to ascend, even though they did take the medicine.
correct.
Okay, that's good to know. We also talked about how can you suggestions on detoxing from the medicine. I know, like on our first show back in June, you kind of mentioned some kind of therapy that you could like take a bath and get the metals out. What other types of I guess you would say remedies would you suggest for the Soul Tribe to take to kind of not contradict, but to counteract the negative effects of the medicine?
Well, there's various things that you could do in the avenues of holistic and natural medicine. There's this, devices that you could do. For instance, there's this therapy cleanser called oxygen therapy. It's where it's like a needle goes into your vein, and it totally just cleans out your blood from all the metals and toxins and stuff. You could also do bath ionization, or what they call foot baths, the ionization foot bath. That takes out a lot of metals as well. But you would have to do like 10 to 15 sessions until the water is fully clear. There's different ways. You could also take tons of spirulina, chlorella, and all the greens. All the greens are very beneficial for the detoxification of the body's metals. What else? And keep your vibration high through meditation, through through breathing. If you could take 20 to 30 minutes a day and just do some deep, heavy breathing, that oxygenates your bodies, your organs, and your cells to the point where it just purifies it. And that's another way of cleaning yourself internally. So there's different natural ways that you could do, in order to clean yourself from this stuff.
I love it. Thanks for sharing those tips with our Soul Tribe, Ishmael, because it does get brought up almost on a daily, if not, weekly basis. Kristen, do you have a question regarding the healthcare industry for Ishmael?
Yeah, about big pharma, the whole medical industry, all the over-the-counter stuff, the things they prescribe, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How close are we to getting rid of all of them that have taken the lives of all of our loved ones throughout the years? They need to go. They're not in this new world.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, the pharmaceutical cartel, along with the petrochemical companies, the American Medical Association, the World Health Organization, everything that has to do with the dark, deep staters, everything's going to be eliminated. And things are going to be shifting, especially because we're going to be getting the med beds, we're going to be getting the natural healing modalities, frequency generators, beyond infrared and all that stuff. We're going to get the real cures, which have been suppressed for many, many years. So it's all going to replace the old stuff immediately. The EBS, part of the DBS is not only informing people of the crimes against humanity and what's really been going on, but a huge part of the EBS is also a revelation of the current poisons that we've been given, and how if you have been benefiting from these poisons, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and how the doctors were all, pretty much, how can I say it? They were all duped in a sense, when they took that Hippocratic oath.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all going to come out, and then part of that is the disclosure of the real healing modalities.
Good. Yeah, that's a big one. That's important for sure.
Very.
And then like our loved ones that did pass away, I feel like we're getting closer to more communication with them. Like channeling, for instance, I've been able to channel stronger. And actually, when I'm doing a session with a client, I happen to be seeing something that their loved one had said. So I feel like we're progressing. We're really, the ascension we're getting a lot stronger, like that we can communicate with them. So how close do you feel, or what dimension do we have to be in to actually see them and more communication?
In the fifth dimension.
Okay.
Because they're all waiting. Yeah, they're waiting for us there.
Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. And yes, you're absolutely right. As more powerful CMEs keep coming in, our psychic abilities are enhancing. I've noticed the difference also. My intuition, has increased. I'm able to sense things before they happen much better now, and I have a clear vision of things.
Yeah, it's very clear, and it's vibrant too, and the visions are more vibrant too. Yeah,
They are.
this is exciting. So everyone, we're getting closer. Awesome. Jason, do you have anything on this subject?
No, I love it, Kristen. I love the answer, Ishmael. As far as it comes to that particular subject, I don't have any, but I do have some other hot content to get to if you guys want to switch gears a little bit. So I was listening to Mel Carmine's interview. Shout out to Mel Carmine. And Ishmael, you did a great interview with him. That was almost 2 weeks ago. And you did say like the new heaven on earth is going to be like Mars or like Dubai, but like high tech, when it comes to basically the new heaven on earth. It's going to be completely amazing from what you had described on Mel's show. When we look at Mars itself, and right now you say that there are colonies on Mars, and I believe you said like the med beds are in mass production in Mars currently. I know a lot of our Soul Tribe members have questions regarding med beds specifically. Is there any update on the med beds? Are we going to see them here on this positive timeline here in the year 2022? Kind of what's your take? Any updates regarding med beds?
Well, they're definitely being manufactured on a mass scale on Mars right now. And because we do have the best engineers in the entire universe. And that's one of the things that the extraterrestrials really, really value, is the fact that we have the brightest engineers. Once, of course, they have been enhanced to use a higher IQ to compete with the extraterrestrials who are operating with an IQ of 400 and 500. So once they enhance themselves to be using, that IQ, they're extremely bright. And I believe that following the EBS and the disclosure and the rollout of the new financial system immediately, the advanced technologies, the healing modalities, all that stuff, the replicators, the hovercrafts, everything that has to do with anti-gravitic, magnetic, everything's going to change. We're going to literally go into a Star Trek, similar to the movie Star Wars. Remember you guys watching Star Wars when you see ships and, coming to and fro in these elaborated cities that have skyscrapers that could reach the clouds or above the clouds. That's how it's going to be in the new Earth. It's going to be beautiful.
That's very cool. I like it.
No, the med beds is a very important topic for our Soul Tribe. So that was a good update regarding those being in mass production when it comes to them. I wouldn't really see them being in mass production if they weren't going to be used here on Earth. Is that correct, Ishmael? Like, if they were mass producing them, why would they be mass producing them if we weren't going to be able to use them? Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, correct. Yeah. In the event that, say, the Alliance didn't have the upper hand and the Cabal through their nefarious, space programs, in that event, no, they wouldn't have been produced in mass production. But because they have lost the war in space, the interplanetary corporate conglomerate, as well as the Dark Fleet, is no longer running things in our solar system. Solar Warden is, of course, and Radiant Guardians and the Earth Alliance. They're being produced on a mass scale because they're getting ready to bring everything down to humanity. They're really working hard up there. Very. So I just wanted to thank everyone that's working from behind the scenes to, bring forth the liberation of humanity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So this might not be a very intelligent question, but this is my how are they going to get from Mars to Earth, the med beds, Ishmael? How can they be transported from Mars to Earth for us to use?
We're going to be using and nourishment to the beings that live within it. Except the beings that live in the sun are like 15 to 24 feet tall. They're different, and they mainly use their light bodies. They don't use carbon-based DNA, nor do they use crystalline-based DNA. They use a type of DNA that is hydroplasmic. It is plasmic DNA. Yeah, so that's the type of material that they use to exist in the inner sun. And really, they're actually guardians. They're working with the galactic councils as I guess observers and supervisors to seeing how events fold out here in our solar system. So a lot of the galactics know about them, and only a few could interact with them. And the only reason I know about this is because it was revealed in one of the ancient manuscripts that I had access to, called the Winds of Truth. When it talks about the 12 major universes, and oh my God, it goes into detail about the 12 major planes, the 12 cosmic adepts, the solar rays, and all that stuff. And that's when I found out about the sun being a place where beings also live in civilizations, glorious civilizations within the sun.
Dang.
And not to mention, our sun is also a stargate. It acts as a stargate for other worlds or star systems to access and come into our solar system, from other galaxies and other universes.
Wow. This is completely blowing my mind. I don't know about you, Kristen. It's blowing our Soul Tribe minds as well. Ishmael, you said that the sun isn't really producing the heat that we're feeling. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
So where would the heat be coming from? Inner Earth or from the ground up? Where would that heat be coming from?
It is a dynamics of the solar rays hitting our atmosphere and the ionization field of our atmosphere, converting the solar rays into heat in order to produce warm weather and stuff. But as we get closer to the sun, you don't burn. You could actually go really close to the sun and even touch it, and it's not fire. It's not. It's. I know it's hard to believe right now, but it's plasma. But it's different though. It's not. It's not as hot. It's not like people say it is.
Right.
Wow.
This is mind blowing for sure, Ishmael. Here's a question from one of our Soul Tribe members. It's from Sweet Ginger Cakes. It was from a day or two ago. When we do look up at night at the stars, what are we actually seeing when we look up at night at the stars?
We're seeing the billions of star systems with planets, the entire Milky Way. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing constellations, we're seeing planets, stars. So that's why they all look like little white dots, because even planets are bright. They're all radiating an aura. So when we see them as white dots, it's a reflection. It's that is coming via our perception, I guess, through our eyes. We're seeing the reflection of the light that is emanating from planets and stars. So that's what we look at when we look up at the sky.
I love it.
Yeah.
Kristen, do you have any questions as it pertains to like the sun or the stars?
The sun, I know that early in the morning, like sunrise and then sunset, it's very healing. I just want to confirm that with you. That the rays are like the red light therapy radiation?
That's correct.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
good. That's what I like to do.
Oh, nice. And they also say that it's good to sun gaze when the sun is directly on the horizon, either coming up during sunrise or going down during sunset. Of course, just for like 10 to 15 seconds. And what that does is that activates light codes inside you.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, it feels great. You sleep better. It's definitely grounding for sure. Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I love this content that's coming in to the Soul Tribe. We had a question about a week or two ago when it came to the Schumann resonance and how it kind of went dark or it kind of went black. I guess no activity, I guess you could say. I'm going to pull a picture right now. Ishmael, what can you share with us? Because there was like no activity when it came to this Schumann resonance. What can you tell us about this?
Well, it turns out that in the last 3 to 4 months, the CMEs that have been coming in have been so high that it's been impossible. It's been very hard for the Schumann resonance to register the CMEs. I think we've had like a number or series of X-class, M-class solar flares, which were unregistered by the Schumann resonance. And that's the reason why it wasn't detecting anything for a while, was because we have been receiving like the most intense CMEs that haven't happened in over 12,000 years.
Can you talk a little bit more about our soul tribe, about the CMEs and what they kind of actually do for us? Or maybe just dive into it just a little bit more for me to understand, and maybe for Kristen to understand as well.
Well, basically, the light rays, the CMEs, are carrying pockets of information, and it is data that is communicating with us at a cellular level. So it's bringing forth new mathematical formulas, new instructions, changing the morphogenetic field that actually allows new codons to come online so that new DNA strands could begin operating. And since we do have 10 dormant DNA strands, we could say that the photonic energy coming from these CMEs is actually activating our DNA at a cellular level. And that explains the genetic mutation that we are all experiencing, ascension symptoms. It's all because of the fact that our dormant DNA is coming online very, very soon.
I'm loving this. This is awesome.
This is awesome. This is absolutely. Thank you for clarifying and going a little bit deeper with the CMEs, Ishmael. Absolutely love it. You're absolutely getting so much love from our Soul Tribe. Shout out to all of our moderators out there squashing those trolls, as well as our Soul Tribe. You guys are watching Ishmael Perez live on the Soul Tribe Arcana Shores with Kristen and Jason, and of course Ishmael. Kristen, do you have any other topics as it comes to like the sun, the stars, the Schumann resonance, Kristen? Anything else before I jump into some Ivanka Barron Trump?
Not at this time. I think that Ishmael covered everything, even more than I expected. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So I was listening to the interview that you were on with Mel, and you were talking about how Ivanka is going to play a pretty big role when it comes to, I guess, the future. I guess you would say for humanity. Could you kind of elaborate a little bit more on what role she may be playing in the future?
Well, okay, so how can I say this? We could say that some of the benevolent extraterrestrials are actually humans. A lot of them are, just like we are, right? But Ivanka Trump is also a Pleiadian, just like, what's her name? I forget the name. Melania. Yes, they're both Pleiadians, and Trump is... and they're protecting Trump because they know that he has a vital role to play in the liberation of the earth. And so I believe that Ivanka Trump is going to be play a huge role in the New World structure. And the reason being is because the Trump family actually comes from a bloodline that is related to Princess Diana, the Kennedys, Lincoln, and even Elvis and Marilyn Monroe. They all come from the same bloodline. It's called the bloodline of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Yeah. So that's what I've been informed, that his entire family is destined for greatness, not just him.
I love it. What about Barron Trump, Ishmael? We have pulled cards on Barron Trump, and we've gotten some phenomenal cards when it comes to Barron and the role that he will be playing, or the role that he does play with the Alliance. What kind of role or intel do you have in regards to Barron Trump?
He's also being groomed by the White Hats for his future position as a leader, world leader.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. We also have pulled cards on Tesla. Do you have any kind of information on Tesla and any type of free energy that is going to be coming to the people to help everyone in regards to humanity and the free energy that is coming from Tesla?
Are we talking about Nikola Tesla?
Yes.
Well, he was also a White Hat, and many believe that he was actually one of the benevolent ETs in human form, and that's why he had access to a lot of this knowledge back then. And he worked together with Trump's father and Trump's uncle. And that goes back to the history of the White Hats. And of course, what's his name? Hugh, forget his name, the big aerospace tycoon. Howard Hughes, sorry, yeah, Howard Hughes. Yeah. Collectively, they're the ones who pretty much rolled out the plan for the White Hats back in the 50s. So I think Tesla technology is going to be a thing that the White Hats are already implementing from behind the scenes, and soon they're going to give that to the rest of the public. And what I mean by that is that we're going to go from a current level, I guess, our current way of using energy to one of free energy immediately when they kind of shift into the new world structure. or when they shift us into the new world structure.
Yeah.
I love it. Kristen, do you have any questions as it pertains to Baron, Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, any of the alliance, Kristen? Ivanka, Kristen, do you have any questions regarding this before I have a different gear of questions for Ishmael?
I have a funny one about Elvis. Is Elvis coming back? And he's not really that pastor, is he?
I really don't know. Some people believe that he also faked his death, just like Marilyn Monroe, and the reason Marilyn Monroe and JFK were having alone time a lot was because they were actually exchanging intel. And of course, the media made it seem like he was having an affair with her, which he probably did, but it was all because it was all, strategy. They were strategizing as they were both working for the White Hats. But as far as Elvis is concerned, I guess we're all going to have to find out and be surprised if he even faked his death or not.
Exactly. Cecil tried. I always kind of say something similar to that. So hopefully you guys are listening.
I love it. I love it, Kristen and Ishmael. I love it. It is good to have some lighter topics because we do cover some deep topics as well. So it's always good to have some lighter topics.
Yeah.
Ishmael, Jupiter is orbiting very close to Earth right now. Does that play any role within the solar galaxy or the galactic alliance Jupiter? Is Jupiter playing any type of role?
A huge role. In fact, Jupiter is leading our solar system, as far as just like the sun, Jupiter is also inhabited and colonized by very highly advanced beings that exist in higher dimensions. So there is this thing called the Jupiter Command, and the Jupiter Command just recently overthrew the cult of Saturn and those that were controlling the Council of Saturn, which was run by the Draco. So the Jupiter Command is leading the way for our solar system, and just recently, the Jupiter Command just accepted within the private sector of the Earth Alliance, they just accepted the Earth as a member of the United Federation of Planets of our local star cluster in the last few months. And that's going to be part of the disclosure as we prepare to make first contact with the Galactic Federation and the benevolent races. And Jupiter's leading the way for that. Because as I speak, there's a lot of meetings taking place around Jupiter and around the various moons that orbit Jupiter. It is a hotspot for many extraterrestrials from various galaxies, representing a total of, I think, billions of galaxies that are coming into our solar system and meeting around Jupiter to discuss our solar system and the Earth's new position in the multiverse after the ascension, which is going to be at the hub. Everything's going to be beautiful for the Earth. The Earth is going to be like the most pristine, the most glorious planet after the ascension, and it's going to be shining across the multiverse.
I love it. Jupiter's going to be the closest to Earth in the past, I want to say 65 years or about 60 years, coming from tonight into tomorrow. So have to keep our eyes on that. Ishmael, oh my gosh, how could I say this? The ET kind of like first contacts. Do we know what planet they're going to be coming from? Are they going to be of Mayan descent? Are they, what can you tell us about the first contacts?
The first contact is going to be with the Venetians, and that is going to be represented by by Valiant Thor, who's already working with the White Hats. In fact, he's going to be part of the new, once we roll out the new system, he's going to be working with the Trumps and, JFK Jr. And also the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians and the Venusians are going to be the first ones to make contact with us. And the reason being is because physical-wise, they resemble us the most. We look like them, they look like us. There is no distinction, to the point where if a Venetian or Pleiadian were to, teleport from their ship and come down to the Earth and take off their spacesuits and put on jeans and a shirt, they could just blend right in and go into a shopping mall and nobody would know that they're aliens.
I love it. I love it. Kristen, this is absolutely groundbreaking. I love it, Ishmael. Kristen, do you have any questions regarding Jupiter, first contacts from the Venetians, anything like that?
More so the Pleiadians. Is it true that all Pleiadians have to be tall, or there are different heights too?
There are various heights, but for the most part, most of them are anywhere from 6 to, they range depending on their planet. The bigger the planet, the taller they are. So depending on where they come from, that'll determine their height. and all of them are just very beautiful looking people. Some are brunette, some are blonde, some are darker skin. Like they resemble the Mayan, like the Mayan colonies, the indigenous. So we have different races that are coming and representing the entire Pleiadian cluster of stars.
Nice.
Mm.
Very interesting.
When it comes to the Pope, Ishmael, we know that the Pope has been dealt with. Are we going to see that the Pope publicly is going to be dealt with, if you know what I mean? Are we going to see any kind of major news having to deal with the Pope and him being dealt with, if you know what I mean?
Yes, I think he's going to croak. I think that's going to be his way of elimination.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's going to happen where, to the public's eyes, it's going to be announced that he passed. It's funny because it's going to be shortly right after the Queen passed. But from behind the scenes, it's symbolic to the elimination of the next in line after they take out the head of the snake. The next in line comes the Pope. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Take them out.
Kristen, what about Brandon? And what about the son of a Brandon?
Yeah.
Those clones? Those clones are going to be dealt with. Yeah, they're nobodies. They're like low-level puppets within the hierarchy of the satanic cult that runs the world. They're more like just puppets, representatives, lackeys. Yeah.
I love it, Ishmael. What about the first arrest? Are we still on the timeline of the first arrest being Dr. Doom?
Yes, absolutely. Him and the big, BG.
The big
BG.
gate.
Yeah, the big gate. They're going to be the first ones in. And I believe also the founder of the new metaverse through Facebook. I'm not going to mention his name, but we all know for his emotionless, facial features, right? Everybody by now knows that he's AI, obviously.
Exactly. We did a show a couple of weeks ago when Trump had a rally. He mentioned specifically Zuckerberg kissing his ass at the White House. I love it. I love it
too. Yeah.
Do it, 45. Do it. We love it. We love big things are happening, Ishmael. We have some questions from the Soul Tribe. Are we still good on time? I don't want to keep you longer than you're able.
Yeah, we still have I have about 20 minutes left.
All right, perfect. Great timing. Ishmael, are there underwater civilizations on Earth currently right now?
Yes, indeed. And go ahead.
No, yeah, I want you to. I'm sorry for interrupting. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, we're also working with a group of beings known as the Aquafarians. We're also working with a group of beings that are able to live both on land and water, similar to like human dolphin hybrids. And some of these are actually have been modified through our own super soldier programs. So definitely there are several underwater civilizations that are existing, similar to the movie Aquaman.
Wow.
It's like that, yeah.
So are they underwater civilizations? Are they also like dark, deep cult civilizations as well as the light, or is it just of the light?
They're of the light. However, there was one that developed in a way to infiltrate our world. That was part of the regressive alien cult or alien group, but they were dealt with by the Earth Alliance and the Federation. I believe that the Andromedan Council, working with a group of spiritual warriors known as the Silver Legion, were the ones that prevented that civilization from fully establishing in our ocean.
Very interesting. I love it. Kristen gets a lot of questions about mermaids and underwater civilizations all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, they're real. And so are mermaids, and so are unicorns and centaurs, and they're all going to be coexisting with us in the new Earth.
Nice. That'll be so fun.
What about the black hole, Ishmael? What lies beyond a black hole?
Well, it depends. If it's a natural black hole, then it's just really a new universe. Through the black hole, you pop. Well, once you get sucked up into a black hole, you come out of the singularity, and then you pop into a new universe. So black holes, in a way, are gigantic doorways that access different universes. Now, those are the natural black holes. There's also these things called the artificial black holes that are being created or that were created by this advanced alien AI that many universes have been fighting. And that was a a form of a Death Star Merkaba to suck the universal life force and feed off of the living systems within universes and galaxies, in order to power up their own Phantom Matrix cybernetic AI multiverse. So that's how they keep their multiverse going, by feeding off of ours. So they're, in a way, they're vampires. So there's two types of black holes:
Wow.
the natural, and then those that were created by AI to suck the living life out of living systems.
Wow.
Are those vampire energy sucking black holes, are they being dealt with by the Galactic Alliance, or are they still active?
From what I understand is that most of them have been shut down by the Guardian Alliance, beyond the Federation. The Federation has no clue. The Federation only deals with things on a planetary and stellar level. Beyond the galaxy and higher dimensions, where the war's taking place with AI at the 11th dimension, that is being dealt with by the Emerald Order and the high, Rishi cosmic beings like Metatron and beings like that. But for the most part, yes, a lot of those holes have been shut down. And from what I understand is that the great solar flash that we're all going to experience here is going to have repercussions throughout the multiverse. That from this Earth, this incredible EMP is going to be unleashed, that is going to totally nuke all the remaining black holes and AIs and dark entities that are still lurking in the multiverse.
I love it.
As the
Kristen,
final weapon, yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's what we are waiting for, 1,000%. Kristen, do you have any follow-up questions as it pertains to the dark holes or the vampire energy suckers?
I'm just glad they're going to be gone, wiped away. Solar flare, it's going to take care of it all. So that's great. Great news. Yes.
Ishmael, here's a question from Elizabeth Gray. She wants to know, can you ask, or Ishmael, do you know, or how do we know the name or names of our guardian angels? Is there a way that we could kind of solidify if we are talking with a guardian angel or not?
Well, there's two ways of identifying or distinguishing who you're getting the channeling or the download from. If you feel it in the heart, then it's resonating with either your guides or ancestors or your team of angels. If you feel it in the pit of your stomach, it's best to protect yourself, shut yourself off, and do not allow that entity to connect with you anymore, because those are tricksters. Those are, perhaps archons or negative entities posing as light beings. So we have to have discernment, and one way to have discernment is you either feel it in the heart or you feel it in the pit of your stomach. So as far as like identifying who your main archangel is, that's something that you're going to have to know, I guess, go inward to find out. I can't really tell you exactly who your archangel is that you work with. But for the most part, most of us do work with Michael, and Michael is accessible to everyone. When it comes to protection, when it comes to anything that has to do with shielding yourself from negative entities, I always say invoke Michael's presence, and he will never fail you.
Yeah.
We love it, Michael, the archangel. We love it, Ishmael. Do you have any follow-up questions to that, Kristen?
I agree with that. That's what I do too. Yeah, he's always there for everyone. We just have to pray more. Yeah.
Here's a question from the King of Cups, Dennis himself, for
Oh.
Ishmael. Since fractals of the source creator can be found in all things, can a fractal of an angelic being be found also in a human during the HTE, same time and place, if even for a short time?
Yes, in fact, all of us are fractals of the 12 archetypes. Yeah. Every single one of us is a fractal of a cosmic being. That's how powerful we are if we just really connected with our higher self and beyond our avatar, beyond our oversoul, into our monad, because the monads are pretty much the archetypes, and there's a total of 12. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, so on and so forth. So we are all children of that. We're all fragments of the original 12.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. We love it. Exactly. We have the God gene. We are royalty. We have it all.
We
as
do.
they say.
You have it all?
Kristen, any follow-up question to that one?
No, that's a great question though, King of Cups. Good job.
Ishmael, I don't know if you have this sort of intel, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask it anyways. I know you have a lot of intel, but I don't know if you have this intel. When it comes to Elon Musk and his first son, Nevada, I have a question here from Harley Ray. I don't want to post it because it's kind of sensitive, the language, if you know what I mean. Did he do anything nefarious with his first son, Nevada, that you know of?
Not that I know of, but I wouldn't be surprised if he upgrades him by putting a Neuralase chip in his brain to make him, to enhance his intelligence. Because he's already doing that. He already enhanced himself by, using a Neuralase
And
chip.
has Elon been dealt with? If you know what I mean, has Elon already been dealt with for the I guess you would say the entertainment purposes only, of course, but the crimes that he has committed?
I do believe that it's going to get to that point very, very soon. Yeah, the forces of light are pretty much they're tired of it. They're not going to put up with anything any longer. The astrological, according to astrology, evil only had a certain amount of time to do what it is they wanted to do, and their time is up. So, it's just a matter of, I guess, time now before they all get exposed and dealt with.
Right. Entertainment purposes only, of course, but not really. We love it. Ishmael, do you have any questions for Kristen or myself?
Let me see. I guess not at this time.
Yeah. We love it, Ishmael. I do want to be respectful of your time. We have about 5 minutes left. Kristen,
Yes.
Before I have my last question for Ishmael, do you have anything? Do you have anything for Ishmael?
I think Ishmael, you answered all the questions that I had. But thank you so much. It was awesome.
You're welcome.
Now, Ishmael, when it comes to the EBS, and that is the kind of event that we are, looking forward as to it coming next, or at least that's the major one that's coming next. And then also kind of, if you guys are just joining us, don't miss this first hour. Go ahead and rewatch that first hour. Very hot content. We talked about the EBS coming soon. If you were to put a day or a time frame on it, Ishmael, do you kind of foresee a time frame on which the EBS will occur?
It could happen this October, first week.
Nice.
But then again, it could also happen at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
As far as like pinpointing it to the exact day and the exact time, nobody really knows because things are always fluctuating. We're dealing with multiple timelines and different probabilities. But it's going to happen, and it is inevitable. So
absolutely. And then also, this is going to be one for Mel Carmine and our XRP family of armies. I know that we had spoke about cryptocurrencies before, and that the majority of them are like 99.9% of them are of AI, and they are part of the dark deep cult. XRP, XLM, still on the Starlink, still part of the Alliance Quantum Financial System, XRP and XLM.
Yes, anything that has to do with the gold-backed standard is of the light, as opposed to like Bitcoin and other currencies that are just part of the digital, AI system.
Right. I love it. I love it, Ishmael. We have you for a few more minutes. Do you have any words of encouragement for our soul tribe as you leave the Arcana shores this Sunday evening?
Just to stay positive. In the middle of all these negative fear porn, messages that are coming about, possible third world war, Russia, us, it's just all fear porn. I can guarantee you that we've already averted the third world war. We've already averted any negative timeline, so it's an information warfare right now. So don't believe none of that negative stuff, because the White Hats and the Alliance are now in full control, and they would never allow anything like that to happen, especially when we are at the finish line. Not to mention, we do have help from beings beyond the physical, the non-physical, beyond our dimension that are also assisting us. and they have been very instrumental in the neutralization of nuclear plants for over 60 years. So, yeah, we have all the help we need at this time. We have nothing to worry about. You know, just stay grounded, keep your faith, and most importantly, love yourself. Love yourself, treat yourself, you know, drink a lot of water, eat healthy.
I
That's
love
it.
it. I love it, Ishmael. Beautiful words. I know it sounds simple, but yes, we need to take time each day to go ahead and do that, love ourselves, and then go out and love others. I love it, Ishmael.
Definitely.